All right. We have a podcast called Open Enough to Listen. And we have a couple of guests that's going to be with this first episode speaking on modern relationships. We have Kendall and Kendra. You guys like to introduce yourself?
Ladies,
Certainly. Ladies first.
ladies
Ladies
first.
first.
Thank you. My name is Kendra Terrell. I am a licensed clinical therapist, and originally from Iowa, but out here in California doing my thing. And I'm glad to be here with you guys and can't wait to see what kind of questions you have today, Dom. I didn't know how long it should be. This is my first time. So this ain't scripted. So, go ahead, Kendall.
All right, so my name is Kendall Davis. I am in Columbus, Ohio, born and raised. I am a accountant and real estate professional by trade. Been there for a long time, doing it a long time. I am. This is my. I wouldn't say first podcast. I've done a podcast before. I've been in real estate for over 10 years. I started working in the commercial space, and I have 3 children. And I am a single dad, been married, been divorced, blase, blase, and I guess that's what we probably gonna talk about. So,
Okay. So hold on. Kendall, Sean, you know what I'm saying? That's how you do the introduction. So let me just add a little something onto my, introduction then, Kendall. Since you had to put the sauce on yours. So yes, I've been an MFT for probably like 10 years, 11 years. And in private practice, have my own practice that I do part-time. And I enjoy, what I do. And also, trying to do other endeavors like small businesses. That's just a little bit more. But they'll learn me more as the time goes on. Thank you.
And my name is Dominique. I'm starting this podcast. I have a lot of experience in law enforcement, mental health, and I thought this would be a good podcast to be able to express yourself and be able to talk about things that pretty much don't get talked about, or sometimes people don't feel like they have a voice, and a lot of times people aren't opening up to listen, or they pretty much hear and it just goes one ear out the other instead of listening to understand, to kind of get a grasp, to better understand where it's coming from. So it's all about different perspectives, and we'll see where this goes.
Okay.
Are you guys ready?
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 Okay, so how do you think traditional gender roles have evolved?
Well,
Let
how
me
have
see.
they evolved? I mean, traditionally, what it's always been where the man takes the lead and the woman, is kind of the stay-at-home mom or take care of the kids. And now I see it as the dads can be the father, or the male could be the stay-at-home male. I mean, a person, and the wife is the breadwinner and she's out working and doing that thing. Or you have same gender families where, it's not traditional gender roles. It's two people, two same sex couples, taking care of their families. I think a lot has evolved since the way old fashioned couples used to be.
Yeah, and I believe like gender roles is like kind of no gender roles. It's really like when
Hmm.
people ask me relationship advice, I first tell them that I am not a person to give you relationship advice because I have not survived my relationship because I got divorced. But I will tell you this: that your relationship is your relationship, and
Hmm.
what you're comfortable with in your relationship as a ginger role, then that's fine. Because I met women that love cutting grass, and I met
Right.
guys that love doing laundry and cooking. So it's like gender roles
Hmm.
has kind of went out the door. I mean, I love cooking myself, and I don't mind cutting grass, but I hate laundry. But it's just really what works for your relationship. It's not about what anybody else got to say about it. If it works for your relationship, it works for your relationship, and that's all that matters.
Right, right. I got a question though. With the gender roles or traditional gender roles that we, I guess it comes out the Bible kind of thing about what we should do, what males and females should do as far as their roles in a relationship, right?
Hmm.
Okay. And so now we are like in what, the 21st century, and we're so far away from that. It's just, I don't know. I just see it so different.
Yes, I mean times have changed and
Mhm.
life has evolved, and I think everything always comes back. So, for example, I use hats. For example, we was wearing fitted hats, then we went to
Right.
snapback, and then we went to fitted, then with the snapbacks. Like everything seems to kind of go full circle and
Go
come back.
back. Mhm.
So I believe that things will go back around because I think there's a article out that I read about the new generation are not big alcohol drinkers. Like they don't drink beer, they don't drink
Right.
that stuff, and it's just like stuff is just going, disappearing, then it's coming back. So it's kind of just
Right.
life and gender roles. Back to gender roles is that I feel like it's just evolving and stuff will change,
Mhm.
will go back, but
Mhm.
whatever works for your relationship works for your relationship, and don't let nobody tell you anything different because
Right.
this relationship is the one you keep everybody out of, and they last the longest.
Uh-huh. Agreed.
But the Bible is a guide, but
Yes.
that's a start. But I think you need to have those tough conversations early, especially
Mhm.
people don't like to talk about their financials early. You should talk about your financials early. I mean,
True.
if you trash and your credit trash and you need help, then talk about it. But this is a person you be with. They shouldn't hold that against you. They should want to help you as you help them because their strengths may be your weakness, and their weakness may
Right.
be your.
Right. Agreed. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to ask a question. When it comes to Kendall, when you said as far as finances, how do you get to that point? And I'm only asking because I know obviously males and females, but depending on if you don't trust, how does that work in? Because that could be something that was probably when you was younger to why you don't trust. To now you're having to trust someone with your personal stuff when it comes to finances. How do you kind of navigate that for someone out there who is struggling to speak on finances because of rather something happened or they was done wrong? How do you open up to that?
Oh, this is so beautiful. I love this question. So when you walk into a bank and you do a credit application, you're trusted they're not going to release your information, correct?
Right.
Right.
And we all have got one of those letters in the mail saying, "Hey, you have been a part of a scheme that your information has been released," and you
Mhm.
trusted them enough to keep your information sacred, and you were fine with it, no connection, no nothing. So, what's the difference of somebody you actually feel like going to the next level with? If you're not comfortable enough to have those tough conversations, then the relationship is going to eventually crumble because you need to open up because this is going to be your partner that got your back, whether good, bad, or indifferent. I mean, if
Yeah.
they can get released or they start talking bad about you, then you know early what type of person you deal with and you just move on. But if you got
Yeah.
trashy credit, it doesn't change that your credit is trashy. Like it doesn't.
Yeah.
But the thing is like you want somebody that's going to help you, not use it against you. But
Right.
if you walk into a bank and you do a credit or you try to get a new car loan, they're going to, and your information get released. So trust is kind of, for me, I just look at it different because I used to work at a bank and we all seen those people's credit scores. Like it wasn't like it's
Mhm.
private, but it's like we try to keep these things private when we're in a relationship with somebody that we're trying to grow with. But the thing is you may be my yin and I may be your yang, and then things
Mhm.
flip. But you can't. You have to give some trust. And a wise man, one of my mentors, he actually told me, he said, "How you gonna know if you can spend your life with somebody if you never give them enough trust to hang themselves?"
That part. But trust is another thing because people, we have our own experiences where we come from relationships where trust was broken, and so now we're coming into a new situation, and now you're fearful to put trust in this person because of past experiences. So
No, that's true. You shouldn't
yeah,
give. I mean, I'm not saying give them 100% trust right out the gate.
right. Oh yeah, yeah,
You grow into it, but eventually
yeah,
you have to be able to open up.
yep,
Some people
yeah,
do. I get people that's been with each other for 5, 6 years and be like, I never told them this, so they don't know about this. And I'll just be like,
right,
well, when you
right,
die, they gonna find out anyway. Like, what's the
right.
point? Like, they gonna say you still with them when you die. They gonna find out. So it's like, why are we
Yeah,
even talking about something that you don't want to deal with that's gonna come out eventually? Like,
right,
Right.
right.
and I see it all the time, especially in real estate, because people pull out a second loan mortgage on their property and they don't tell their partner, and then they decide to sell the house, and guess what comes up? That second
But how
mortgage.
can they do that without the partner consenting or signing on as well?
Well, the new, let's say you can do it. They still can do it on the new generation, but older generation, they
Yeah.
didn't have none of that. The systems we got now, that stuff.
Oh,
You can go sign and say I'm divorced, or I don't got a partner. Like, and then they give you the loan. Like, they didn't have that stuff back in the day. So people would have those line of credits, those second loans on there, and they would just keep making payments. In the
wow.
new, I just seen it happen on new properties too. It just depends on what type of lender you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm. Dang. Okay. Learning something new too. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, so let's see. So when it comes to challenges, what are some challenges would you guys say that couples face when it comes to navigating the expectations?
well, just from my experience, um, women making more money, you know, she, a boss when it comes to, the cash, and the gentleman or the guy, he doesn't make as much. And so I don't know if he feels less than, or like, what does she need me for? She make money, or she's supposed to, now she makes more money, she can foot the bill, she can do X, Y, and Z. So sometimes I see that, the women being more of the financial person to carry the burden of the load of the house and all of that kind of thing. And they feel, I don't know, they feel like they can't measure up.
I think the challenge is we run. I mean, I see the financial one too, and I'll talk about the other one. I think is some like guys and women date outside of their class. So
Okay,
I
here we go. Yeah.
so I have seen a lot of guys date outside of their class, and then their expectations are higher for that type of person.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of crazy because I just seen guys that was wealthy went and dated an 18-year-old, and then they
Yeah.
send the 18-year-old to know stuff like a 30-year-old, and then they get frustrated
Mm-hmm.
on the scene the opposite. So it's just is
Yeah.
and I just seen wealthy people go date, try to pull somebody off the street and try to clean them up, and then it epically fails. So those are starting to. I see a lot of those challenges happening because people are
Mm-hmm.
just looking for love, and when they feel like they have somebody they can love, they pour into those people. But it's a lot of challenges just in relationship. I think the biggest challenge is social media. Social media is the biggest challenge
Agreed.
because
Absolutely.
you can take a picture just at a conference and it could be four women and somebody be like, he messing with that woman. Like, no.
Yep.
Like or just somebody can
Yep.
write a narrative out. Like celebrities take pictures with people all the time and they say they
Mm-hmm.
messing with them, or they say, oh, they messing with youth, or they messing with
Mm-hmm.
gay, or they like it's always something. So social media has been able to twist a lot, and it's been a lot for a lot of relationships to deal with. I think social media is kind of the biggest challenge because once you keep it off social media, a lot of relationships survive. But once it hits that social media,
Agreed.
you write their own narrative.
Yep. Absolutely. I was actually having this conversation with somebody a couple of weeks ago where they're so happy to post about their relationship, and as soon as they posted it, now they bickering and fighting, and it's just like, why just keep it off social media? Why does it have to be everybody's business who you're dating and that kind of stuff. I mean, you see older people who don't even give a F about social media and they relationship, working great.
Yeah,
You know,
this
they don't
generation
have
feel
those
like
issues.
if it's not on social media, we not together.
Right. Yes. I have my aunt told me that she was like she been married 30 years, and she said I just don't understand why grown people have the need to want to do that, as if they need like validation or that kind of thing. Like, I said the older generation, they don't really care about that. We don't need to put it on Facebook or social media for it to be valid.
I'm gonna tell you a little secret Amel told me. He said, I watched a woman post her man. I watched a woman post her man. I watched a woman post her man. And then I start to see her not post her man. And then I
Mhm.
start to watch her messages and I realize now's my opportunity to slide into her DM. I'm like, what? He
Yep.
said because it tells the story. They
Yep.
can't hide it because they start posting more. They start posting without him. He's not in the
Yep.
picture no more. Like you can
Yep.
see there's problems. So they're letting you know that there's problems and it gives you opportunity to kind of say, hey, you want to go get some coffee? You want to go to the museum? You hungry? And
Right.
that's and a lot of people fall into the trap. I said, how do you have that much time? He said, you don't really got to have the time. He said, I can log on once a week and still catch her. I was like, dang. But that's,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. It
it's
is
dangerous.
very dangerous.
And
Mm-hmm.
I tell people all the time, I said, if your relationship is built off social media, it would never last because that's a facade. People put on there what they want you to see, not what they really going through.
Right. Right. Yep.
Okay, you guys are jumping ahead. That I mean, that's a good topic. I would say just we're gonna stay on this for one more thing. But when it comes to the social media, I guess my take on it is more so is it's a lot of highlights. That's all it is. And I think people get infatuated with the highlights of vacation or want to wear the same shoes and do all these things when it's like really is
Mm-hmm.
not even about that because you want to do all
Right.
that but you haven't had a foundation when it comes to actually being a friend. You haven't
Hmm.
seen me go through nothing. You just want to go on trips, so it's like you have to build a foundation first to be able to know, okay, I could probably really go on trips and we could get into it but we could still be good, instead of you go on trips or whatever the case is and you get into it now, it's the fallout and you done lost that person because of what you've seen on social media, because of you looking at everyone else. And I think that because whether it's social media or just social in general, whatever is shown, if you're constantly on your phone, constantly, like if you see a red car mentally, or if you buy a red car mentally, now you're going to start to see more red cars. So it's like the more you're on social media, the more you see things, the more you start to, okay, I want to do that, when it's just like that's not the foundation. Because back then they didn't have they didn't have social media, and marriages was lasting longer. And then on top of that,
Last
they
longer.
wasn't
Yep.
competing with no one else. It was just
Right.
them. Whereas to
Right.
now, you have to try to upkeep with the Jones and keep up with them when it's just like they might be on a whole different class than you. So it's just like
Mm-hmm.
understanding who you are. And if you want to get like that, you can build. But at the end of the day, it's like a microwave society. We want it
Yes.
like it, we want it right now instead of just okay, let's work to get it. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
that's my little take on when it comes to the social media. Like we
Yeah.
go to
And
it go
then let
down
me
a
just
whole
say
rabbit
this.
hole.
Right. Just before you go on, even social media have helped to kind of with these modern relationships and gender roles, we base our relationship things on what we see, so if a man is supposed to do this, and we see it on social media, then we bring it back to our relationship thinking this is what it's supposed to be like, and that's a problem. I mean, all our relations can't look like Kim and when she was with Kanye. You know what I'm saying? Like it can't look like that. But people are so they into the social media where it defines what they need to be and look like in this relationship, and that's an epic fail.
And another challenge I used to, yeah, when I was in a relationship, I hated them. I hated them. Double dates, triple dates, friend dates. I don't want to be involved in none of them. I really don't. I really don't
None of
because
them.
it's always like the males. We don't care. Like we gonna treat you how we treat you in front of people or away from people. It don't like a male's gonna treat you how he treat you. But the woman's like, oh, Josh opened the door for his wife, and you'd be like, well, I never opened the door for you. Like, why all of a sudden you want me to open the door? Oh,
Right.
Josh, he pulled the seat out. Why don't you do that? And I just be like,
Yeah.
this ain't it. This is not it.
Right.
Because
Right.
all you can do is just they have this fairy tale of what they want,
Yes.
which is fine, but have that
Yeah.
conversation with me separate and like, hey, I would like
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
of this or this or that. But remember, when you add something, you have to subtract something. And people don't realize that Newton's
Yeah.
law is every reaction there's a positive or negative reaction. So
Correct.
if you tell me on the date that I should start opening the door more, you think I'm gonna be more like excited to be like, oh yeah, da,
Right.
da, da. Nah, I'm gonna feel like, dang, you you ungrateful. Like I may feel like I may take it as a good thing, I may take it as a bad. I might be like, you know what, she right. Or I may be like, dang, that's why I don't like double dates because you now you want me to be him. What you want to date him?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like it can
It's right. Do you want to date him?
so it just turns and you just realize that for me it's like certain things in my relationship I don't like. If they come to the house, that's perfect, we can have a nice little cookout, that's a different thing.
Hmm.
But like double dates, triple dates, I haven't been on one, and this is my opinion, that has been successful. It always led to an argument, always,
Hmm.
always.
Hmm.
So I just realized that for me, it's best for me not to, because if you sit there and you're telling me what the next guy is doing that I'm not doing, and then
Right.
who knows, she may be telling him what I'm doing that he's not doing, and then you're
Yep.
just be creating a challenge, and it's just like I
Yes.
can't please you, I can't make you happy,
Right. Yep.
and that
I
leads back
agree.
to social media because they believe that the relationship is supposed to be like this. And every
Yes.
relationship is not like that. I hear
It's
people all
not.
the time. I remember everybody wanted a Kim and Kanye relationship,
Yes.
and how they
Yep.
divorced. Nobody want a Kim and Kanye relationship now, do they? Nobody
Nope.
want
Nope.
married.
Exactly.
So everything
They're
changed.
not
And
goals anymore. You know
no,
how
they're
they
not
got
going.
goals. Couple goals. Yeah. It's extra. I just want something that, listen, we have what we have, and you ain't got to explain it and do all the extra. Like, let's meet each other's needs.
Yeah. And when you sit and I talk to married couples that's been married for 30 years, and I'll be like, how did you do it? He said, boy, it is tough. He said, we make it look
Yes.
good, but trust me, I be
Yeah.
kicking and screaming and shouting some days because I just be like, I just need a
Right.
break. Just a relationship is a relationship. You're going to go through stuff, and
Yeah.
you have to spice it up, and it gets boring.
Yes.
And there's
Yeah.
always going to be another shiny object. There's always going to be
Yep.
another shiny object, but it's up to you if you want to indulge in that activity or not.
Mm-hmm. Communication. You know, a lot of couples that I spoke to or speak to, when they're coming into therapy or counseling, they don't talk to each other. They don't have conversations. It's like living with roommates. I go to work, she go to work, and I probably see her in passing, but they don't talk about anything. He don't know what's going on with her, and she don't know what's going on with him. And it's just like, well, how is this working? It's not. You know,
Yeah.
it's breaking down. So
And I think sometimes people don't realize that people communicate differently and your communication level
yes,
changes. So
yes.
I met an older couple and they were married about 50 years. And I was just hanging with them. They had they were always the same no matter what. And
Mhm.
if he was upset, he would tell her he was upset right there. If she was upset,
Mhm.
she would tell him she was upset right there. She never got offended. He didn't get offended. And I was like, how do you keep this going? He said, I was always, I love her because I can express how I feel without her getting offended, and she could do the same, and then we could talk about it. He said, but how I express how I feel is not the way normal people express how they feel, but she
Mhm.
understands, and I understand her.
Mhm.
And people, we don't care what nobody else thinks. Yeah, I may cuss.
Right.
I don't give a flying
Yeah.
feces this, but
Uh-huh.
she understands that it's not personal towards her. It's the
Right.
situation. Just fix that and then move on about herself. I was like, that's deep.
But that took time. They had to build that, like to really know each other and understand each other, you know. That's excellent.
And learn how to apologize, because I bet it so many times he
Oh
had to
yeah.
apologize, and I'm
Yeah.
taking for his mistakes, because males are males and females are females.
Right, right. And it's not always on the male, which is on, traditional roles where they think that the male always has to be the one to try to make it right or make it better. Sometimes us females need to do our part, and it's not always, they're not always wrong. We could be wrong, and we're not doing something right. And we need to take accountability for the part that we played.
You said that, I didn't.
No, but
Yeah.
I just see a lot of times in a relationship when they come into the therapy, and they quick to point the finger, you know, he
Yeah,
this and that. And I have to say, okay, let's stop, because I see you saying all these things about this person, yet I want to know, what role did you play?
yeah,
I did this and this and that. And I say, okay, but it takes two to tango. And so we can't have a broken relationship if you didn't have a part and he didn't have a part.
exactly.
There's two parts. Get it. Maybe he had infidelity, but there was something going on at home first before it got to this point. So let's look at these things.
Yeah,
I think it goes back to what that was good. I think it goes back to what Kendall said as far as Newton's law. There's always
Mm-hmm.
going to be a cause and effect, and I think even people on the outside looking in, you can say even when it comes to law enforcement, people are quick to say, "Oh, well, it's this," or "Why did that?" No one never asks the why.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
always, "Oh,
Yeah.
this person's just," no. There's always a why. So when it comes to whatever the issues is, and when someone is always pointing the finger, or never say what they did, or I could have did this. The whole point of looking at different perspectives, they look at it as
Correct.
pointing the finger, and then it's like, well, how did
Mm-hmm.
I? But then when you start to ask those questions, either one thing happened, I didn't think about it like that, or now they
Right.
come in defense mode and they feel like you're attacking them because
yeah,
that's not what
Yep.
they want to hear, because of
yeah,
Yep.
what you said, not what we said, but when it comes
Yep.
to accountability. And I think
Yes.
that I'm not gonna say, oh, I just know it'll be a lot of different like memes or things going out when it comes to women taking accountability and running away from it. But I think that that's huge. And
Mm-hmm.
apologies, and also not, if you're gonna, I guess, be done with it, be done with it, instead
yeah.
of wanting to bring things up and now you causing different situations. And that's a whole nother topic there alone. But no, I agree with you guys
Yeah.
both.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And we could talk about that topic too, but I'll wait for another time when you want to talk about conflict resolution and gaslighting.
Oh man, I want to listen to that one. I don't even want to be on the podcast. I just want to listen.
Listen, it gets real when we're arguing, and now I'm throwing up stuff that happened 10 years ago because I'm trying to one up you in this argument.
Oh man, come on, somebody, you about to preach.
So, yes, but I have to teach this stuff. But anyways, all right, next question, Dom.
Yeah, and before you go, another challenge in a relationship is I can't fight your past.
That part. That
I
part.
can't. I can't. Like after, like I done been in a relationship where somebody was like, "Hey, he cheated on me, and this is how he cheated on me," and I'd be like,
Yeah.
"Okay, what am I supposed to do?" One,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I can't fight your past. Like you have to be
Right.
able to. I wouldn't even say heal, but be able to cope with that and deal with that and realize that I'm not that. But I can't fight something that I wasn't a part of.
And
And
you shouldn't be punished for the mistakes of what this person did to her, because now she sees something that reminded her, and now she want to take it out on you because he did this, and now you getting the treatment he should have got.
exactly. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
that's a challenge, is because when you're trying to fight something that somebody else did, you will never win because you're not that person.
You're not
You
him,
don't
right?
really know what happened because you're only hearing one side of the story,
Right.
and you don't know why it happened. So
Mm-hmm.
I have learned to just kind of experience people, not change people. So it's like if you cool with wanting to stay in your pity, your sorrow, I'll let you be there. I can't change. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to change anybody. You have to want to
Right.
grow from it. You have to want to change from it. But I can't fight your past, and that just lets me know I was never the first pick.
Mm,
Mm.
that's deep.
Right.
That's deep. Let's
Yes.
expound on the first pick.
Because like sometimes, like when you hold on to stuff, that means you're holding on. In my opinion, this is my opinion. You're holding on to that relationship and wishing it would have worked.
Yep. Come
But when
on.
you let go of stuff, you don't really like it happened, it's over, and you keep it pushing. But if you
Yeah.
always holding that over my head, you wanted that to work. So if that
Mm-hmm.
was the situation was to change, we wouldn't even be here, which is fine.
Right.
But it sounds like you're not ready to let that go. And until you're ready
That
to
part.
let that go, it's never going to work
Yep.
with anybody.
Yep. Right. Absolutely. Having those expectations for that, for this new relationship, that she took out this old relationship. You're not him. You'll never be him. And you think totally different from him. You might not even, this cat might be totally somebody like, oh, I don't even think like this dude. But yeah,
Yeah, and don't put me on layaway until he come back.
that part.
Look at you dropping gems.
Okay.
Yeah, don't put me on layaway until he come back. I'm just sitting, waiting, waiting, and then you, nah.
Wasting your time.
Yeah, don't put me on layaway. Just hey, just let me know what it is. I tell people all the
Yeah.
time, I respect honesty. Like if you don't like me,
Oh
you don't
yeah.
like me. I'm cool with it. I can deal with
Right.
it accordingly. But don't fake it. Like don't tell me what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Just tell me the truth so I can move on, because you know I ain't trying to waste your time, and I
Yeah,
dang sure don't want my time waste.
yeah, that's the only thing I can't get back.
Right. That's
And
right.
yeah, you can't get that back. So okay, I wanna play kind of, I hate to say devil's advocate, but I want to go on another side. So when it comes to pretty much what you said, so how would you deal with someone saying, well, I'm it's their baggage, and yes, it happened, but I'm trying to navigate it, when it comes to you. Like if they're honest and they be like, hey, look, this happened. Yes, this is from my past, but it reminded me of that. I know that's not you. How would you navigate that? Would you look at that as yes, I see that was what I was before, but I'm really trying to make it work with you. You still not the first pick?
So for B, I don't ever want another dependent. So if you come to me and you're saying, "Hey, I'm not trying to hold this on you. I'm not trying to do what blah blah blah," it sounds like to me that you're going to if I'm understanding the question, you're going to depend on me to make you feel better. In
Ooh.
reality, you need to be independent and be happy with yourself. Because if you're happy
Hmm.
with yourself, you can be happy with anyone. But if you're not
Correct.
happy with yourself, then you're going to depend on me for your happiness. And I am
Yes.
not going to make you happy. I promise you, I am not going to make you happy. I have
Right.
days where I'm not happy with myself and I need to go for a walk or
Absolutely.
I need to go talk to Jesus or talk to myself. Like, so if
Yeah.
you depend on me for your happiness, this will never work. And I don't think any
Right.
relationship works. Nobody is going to make you as happy as you can make yourself.
Right. And why would you
Oh,
want to put that much power in, like, that big old thing in somebody's hands? It's like this person might be depressed all the time, and now I'm looking at for him to try to, or her to make me happy. No, happiness is an internal thing. You have to be well within yourself. Happy, you find that. I could find that in my room. I could be here all day by myself and be happy, because that's what I have inside. Now somebody can add to your life and y'all can have happy times, but happiness is on you.
okay. Anything else you guys want to add?
I don't know. You ask the questions and it go the way it go.
That's how it's supposed to. You guys supposed
Yep.
to speak your mind.
Yeah.
And hopefully, someone out there is open enough to listen. And this is
Uh-huh.
one thing I would say. The biggest thing that I think is more so, as I said in the beginning, when it comes to hearing, I think, like for example, if you're talking to someone, let's just say it's a debate between you and a significant other, or even a friend. When you talking to someone, you're so ready for the get back. You're trying to listen, and they say something that you didn't like. You focus on that one thing instead of actually hearing
Mhm.
them out fully, and so you
Yeah.
don't miss the most important part when
Yep.
they probably addressed what you talked about, but you were
Mhm.
so focused on that one part where you missed it, and that's where
Yep.
you hearing it instead of listening to understand what the person is doing. I think that's the biggest hiccup when it comes to, you know, people, whether they're going back and forth or whatever the case, because it's not a, it's just more so I want to, like you said, gaslight. I want to say something back to
Mm.
what you said instead of let me hear
Yeah.
you out, let me genuinely listen,
Right.
not cut you off, and then go from there.
Right. Right. Absolutely. I see a lot of that. And that's one of the ground rules that I have inside of therapy is, listening to understand, even repeating back. Okay, so what did you hear him say? Okay, so how do you take it? What's your take on that? Okay, got it. And then asking the other person, did she get it right or did he get it right? Okay, what did they miss? So being able to um, understand and then provide the response and then go into what it is that you might want to say, but definitely that's a big one.
Okay. All right. Do you think that, or let me just say this: what are your? I mean, you guys could use rather personal experience or whatever, but uh, have your views on gender roles changed over time? If so, what influenced the changes?
Kendall, you want to go first?
Yeah, my view on ginger roles have actually changed. They changed a lot. So my ginger roles is basically for me. It's just me and my three children. So now I'm doing every role, but I am experiencing. I would experience the ginger roles with my partner and figure out which roles they enjoy or they don't enjoy and kind of work that way because I'm not. I think gender roles has went out the door once women became having to go out and work into household
Yes.
income. Then that
Yep.
kind of went out the door, and I've learned to just really just accept people for who they are. I was listening to a reel on social media, and it said they was asking just women, and he asked the woman. He said there was two women. He said, "If a man doesn't know how to change a tire, does that make him less of a man?" What y'all think the women said?
She said yes.
She said yes. She said absolutely. And he said, "Well, if a woman doesn't know how to make a recipe from scratch, would that make her less of a woman?" What do you think they
Ooh.
said?
And he said yes. Or
They
It's
she
said
said
different.
no.
No, she said it's
they,
different.
nothing. They didn't say
Oh,
nothing. They just was like, hmm. So it
Really, a
just
double standard.
it's a double standard, but that's just the society we live in. And I just realized that
Yes.
I'm not. I it's certain things I enjoy doing. Like I enjoy taking care of the cars. I enjoy
Mhm.
cooking. Like every blue moon. I mean, I'm
Mhm.
master chef, but I enjoy cooking. It's my I turn on music and I get to think.
Mhm.
I enjoy
Yeah.
cutting the grass. I enjoy. I don't like doing flowers. I don't like doing laundry. I don't like washing dishes. But if I have to,
Mhm.
I do them
Right.
now. So I think Ginger Roses for me has actually changed a lot. And now,
Mhm.
whoever I come in contact with, once we combine households and everything, then I can start to figuring out how the ginger rolls work.
Right. Right. Well, for myself, yes, it's changed only because I have, I've been single or, I've dated somebody, probably out of my class. And so I'm so used to working, taking care of everything that, I don't know how to not, be the breadwinner or not do what I'm supposed to do. Or if my car breaks down, I might call them, but I'm gonna go ahead and get it taken care of. I ain't gonna change the tire, but I'm gonna call AAA. I'm gonna get this car towed. I'm gonna get it fixed, and I'm gonna be back on doing what I have to do. So, when I'm going into a relationship, sometimes that intimidates a man because you know how to fix everything. You can, like what am I good for, and so learning how to not be so independent, that's a problem, because sometimes I'm very much independent, and some guys think, well, she's so independent, she don't have time for this, she don't need me to do any of these things for her. And then that kind of fizzle out, so I don't know, I'm just used to being a boss, period. Thank you.
I like how you said that, but I wanted to add that or ask, I
Yeah.
guess, add or ask.
Mhm.
There's always something that's your weakest link as humans. We all
Mhm.
have a weakest link. We have what we're
Right.
strong at, we have what we're weak at. And this is for all the guys that's watching that want to date Kendra. Figure out what is her weakest link
Yes.
and
Yes.
and and spend time on working on that, and then you can gain her attention. Because
Exactly.
they try to come and be like, oh, well, she got all this money. Money did not make you happy. I
It
promise.
doesn't.
It does
It
not
doesn't.
make you happy. It makes you be able to, like, once you get a, well, let me say this. Money does make you happy. Let me say that. Happy is a short term feeling, but money
Yes.
does not give you joy.
Correct.
Joy comes on a long stretch. So I tell people all the time, like, yeah, you can make a lot of money and you can be happy for these short spent little time frames, but where's the joy at? Like, people, millionaires is
Yeah.
killing themselves every day,
Killing
billionaires
themselves.
every
Yeah.
day.
Look at Robin Williams.
There's no joy. But if they just
Hmm.
find how to deal with like your weak link, like the person that you're
Yes.
talking to, figure out what's their weakest link. They may be good at everything, but they're weak
Yes.
at something. And if you can find
Yes.
out what that weakest link is and spend time on helping that, you got their
You
attention.
win.
And then just keep
Absolutely.
helping them from there. And then you're, because I mean, if she making $1 million, she the breadwinner, whatever, but she may be lonely in the hotel room.
Correct. Absolutely. And you I try to explain that to people, just saying, yeah, I have all these things. However, there's many things that I don't have. But taking the time, like you said, taking the time to learn you, to understand you, to find out, oh, okay, yeah, I see where I can fit in. I see where, what, she needs this and this and that, and do those things, and it's not always about the money. For me, it's
Yeah.
about the small things that go unnoticed. That means the most, So if I'm getting off work late, okay, you got my bath water running, you got dinner ready,
Come on,
so
somebody.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, just find out how to,
right.
like, it could be something like, people don't understand the small things add up. And
Yes.
I think after I got divorced, I realized I was always taught how to take care of a woman, like
Hmm.
financially, like make sure they're good.
Hmm.
But I was never taught how to care for a woman.
That person. Yes.
So
Um.
I had to realize where my flaws was in
Hmm.
my previous relationship and learn from it. But I didn't jump into something to like experiment with it. I spent
Right.
time trying to figure out how I will be able to show that type of caring and be able to get in touch with my caring side to care, so
Right.
then I understand that I can also be financial and take care of the woman but also care for the woman. So it's things that I feel like we don't spend enough time with ourselves and spend enough time
Hmm.
reading. I started reading.
Hmm.
COVID was the
Yeah.
best time for me. I don't know about y'all. If COVID came back around and they locked us in for 2 years, I'll probably be a billionaire after this one, because
Right.
it was the best time for me. I was able to sit and think and spend time with myself and realize where I went wrong, where I'm trying to
Hmm.
go, and where I don't want to go.
Yep. Yep.
So I had to learn that about myself, and then I just had to do better. And I think sometimes we get stuck in this box of life. And some people
Yes.
when they meet my family, they be like, "Your family crazy. What happened to you?" I'm like, I just try to be better every day. That's it.
Yeah. You took the time to educate yourself and learn yourself, and like,
And I
and that's
started
what probably
surrounding myself.
set you apart.
Then I started surrounding myself with people that can help me get better. Like majority of people
Yes.
I hang with is like 50 and older. And they be like, "Why do you
Yes.
hang with me? Like, I nobody want my nephews and nieces and cousins don't want to hang with me." I said, "The wisdom you got, you can help me get somewhere faster than if I just hang with them." So no, I'm not hanging with
Absolutely.
them. Tell your
Yep.
cousin to go somewhere else.
But
Yeah.
what I would chime in and say on that is I think like we have to go to that part because it's some people. I'm speaking for guys. Well, my opinion. I'm speaking for guys. I think it's some people who constantly stay in that box. They in that box 50, 60, 40. They still stay in that box. And kind of like you said, I would definitely agree with you, at least for me and my experience, as far as the growth. As far as the growth when it comes to learning from your mistakes, because like you said, I was very similar to that. Okay, I know how to do this, but I wasn't taught how to, like you said, care for a woman, love them. I know how to do the financial. I know how to cut the grass. I know how to do all this stuff that I think that I'm supposed to do until you actually in a situation where it's like, oh, this matters to you because
Mhm.
I'm in that one track mind, and it's just reaching that
Hmm.
point to understand. I know it's a decent amount of guys who don't want to understand because they're stuck in their ways, but you have to be open enough to look at it and take accountability and realize like, okay, yeah, I messed up right there. I could see where I could do better. And okay, now that I'm doing better, let me try to figure this out. So like you said, having time alone to yourself to understand who you are and understand, okay, this is not what I'm going to go for. These are my red flags from previous situation, and pretty much go from there. But I think to kind of play on the flip side of what you said and what I just said when it comes to growth and understanding and learning from a male's perspective, what would you say to the women who are out there saying, "Well, I'm not gonna fix no man. You need to come ready." And I don't like I get it, but my I guess my thought process is just like no man and no woman is perfect. We all have our flaws. And like you said, when we realize our flaws, we have to work on it. And that's for
Hmm.
us to. Otherwise, will
Right.
continue to have flaws, right? So, like I said, it's accountability. But my whole thing is there's a group out there that will pretty much say, "Well, I'm not working on no man. You got to be this, that, and the third."
And so to answer that, I used to be one of those type of persons that like, oh, he have to, already have A, B, C, and D. And, as I've grown, I've learned that, well, hell, do you have A, B, C, and D? Why are you asking him to have all these things? And so um, I think if we find that person who is we don't know if they're gonna be the one, but you find yourself wanting to spend some time with them or grow a relationship. I think we're going to be molding each other. There's going to be things that I'm going to learn and grow from him and vice versa. So as long as I know that they got a job, they're respectful, they treat me nice, that kind of thing. We can work out everything else in between. As long as you ain't no woman beater and, all that, axe murderer, we can work on these things because I'm far from perfect, and I know there's some things that I have to develop and grow, but if I have a foundation to start with, I think if we both have a foundation, we can grow from there. But I don't want nobody that's perfect. I can't deal with that because I'm gonna act a fool. I'm gonna laugh, talk. I'm not gonna be exactly what you think I am. So let's come together and let's grow.
And I'm gonna say something, and I know I may get cut and killed by social media for this one and get canceled. But women, I
Not
just want
canceled.
to cancel. Women, I just want to say this: like, uh, women that want black men are at a disadvantage, and I don't
Expound
think
on that.
they understand that is because so we have majority of the population in jail is black men. So you got men in
Mhm.
jail, and then you have black on black crime. So when somebody
Mhm.
kills somebody, you lose one, and then you lose
Mhm.
another one in jail. But majority of the black on black crime is either one get killed and then four go to jail
Correct.
because they don't do it by themselves. So when you think about the statistics of how many like the man to women ratio, I'm not saying women settle. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying if you find somebody that's a genuine great guy, genuine
Mhm.
great guy, amazing. He just had a bad childhood, but he's willing to work on it, trying to grow, trying to be better. Help him. I ain't saying
Yes.
dating, but he like spend time with him and see if he's really want to do what he says he want to do. Because
Yes.
if you trying to chase the 1% of black man that's really wealthy and successful, you miss that boat. And I'm just gonna be honest with you because what they're looking for is not probably what you're trying to bring.
Offer.
Because a lot
Yeah.
of women are making money and they think, oh, well, I got money, he got money. Why don't he want me? That's not probably what he's looking for. He might be looking for a submissive woman. He may be looking for somebody to be a stay-at-home wife. You don't know what
Yeah.
he's looking for because money is not an issue for him. So it's
Correct.
like we over y'all. Well, I'm gonna say a lot of women overlook those guys that's working at the grocery store, those guys
Mhm.
that's a manager at McDonald's, those guys.
Right.
Because who knows, he may own a McDonald's, and you may miss that boat and be like, "Dang, I should have talked to him. Too late. He found
Yeah.
somebody." They missed the John Legends. They missed like it's
Right.
just these people that y'all call weird or just like, and I see it all the time. People are like, man, he's just weird, and I'm just like, what do you want? Like, you want a guy that's caring and he's caring. You want a guy that's
Mhm.
loving, he's loving, but because he doesn't fit your fairy tale story,
Mhm.
he's not
Mhm.
Prince Charming. You don't want him. So my thing I say to the women is like, really, just that guy that's been chasing you, spend some time with him. He
Spend
might be
some
a good
time
guy.
with them. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but you're at a disadvantage because statistics show majority of guys are in jail, and the ones that black on black crime, and then a lot of them, you the numbers is really speaks for themselves. If you really pull up the population, is really low. Like a lot of
Mhm.
them are drugs. Like you're at a disadvantage, and it's like you're looking for something that the only person that can actually fulfill what you're asking for is Jesus Christ Himself. And I don't think He gonna come back and choose you. So take your time, spend your time with the guys that are really nice and genuine. I got a great heart
Yeah.
that just need that little push because for every Barack Obama, there was a Michelle Obama. Barack Obama would have never been Barack Obama if it wasn't for Michelle Obama.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And same thing for guys, you know how they could get into relationships and then, they hang on to this relationship and or they break up and then, they look for this woman in every other relationship that they have and, or it takes them a long time to get into a relationship because they have a type or this person got to look like this. It's just,
Yeah, guys, I can speak on the guys too. Guys, they just need to understand to realize what you have because a lot of times guys doesn't realize what they have until it's gone. And then they
Mhm.
try to get it back the same way they lost it. And once
Mhm.
you lost it or you lose that trust, you're not going to get that same relationship back. So then they're
Correct.
fighting with that. Well, you used to do this and you used to do that. Yeah, but obviously you didn't appreciate it. That's why we ended up in the situation we in. So now she changes because, like
Yeah.
News Law said, every
Yeah.
action there's a
Yep.
positive, negative reaction. Things
Absolutely.
same. So guys just sometimes get stuck into that box like, well, she used to do this and she used to
Yeah.
do that. And she
Yeah.
probably say, listen, you used to do this and you used to do that. But
Until this and that happened.
you got to communicate. Like you have to
Correct.
communicate. But
Yeah.
in order to communicate, you got to know what you want. Like a lot of people
Yeah, right.
don't know what they
Right
Yeah.
want.
there.
I ask,
Yes.
I'm gonna ask you this, Kendra, on the spot, just on the spot. So, what are the three things to keep you in a relationship?
To keep me in a relationship, communication, trust, and respect.
Got you. So I ask a lot of women, what's the three things to keep you in a relationship? A lot of them can't even answer that. A lot of them be like, he has to be handsome. That attracts you to the relationship. That doesn't
Right.
keep you in the relationship.
Right.
What keeps
Right.
you in a relationship is totally different from what's going to attract you to that relationship.
Yes. Right.
And I think people don't realize that is you can't have a laundry list of things that's going to keep you in a relationship because at the end of the day, nobody's gonna fulfill every box.
Right.
So
Right.
you have
It's impossible.
what's those three things that you will keep you in that relationship, and
Hmm.
remember, as long as he keep those three things, everything else you can work
We're
on.
good. Yeah. Yep.
This has been good. We're gonna try to, cause I know you guys got things to do. We're gonna try to ask. There's some good questions and feedback. I'm gonna ask this one that was interesting. It says, from Tanya says, we are the only culture who has been historically attacked on character policing and stripped of their masculine positions. So there are great barriers. We are programmed to believe we are mentally prone to challenge more than another race. Do you guys agree on that?
I
Yes.
believe we are challenged. Absolutely. Absolutely. Every day, you know.
Yeah,
And
and to add to that, when you look at different races, whether Hispanic, you look at white, you look at Asians, they are taught to build family. You see
Yeah.
how when it comes to, I know in California, when it comes to Hispanics, like their family, they may go through their challenges, but their family. We're like the only race that pushes pushes out. And I think even when it comes to, let's just break it down, when it comes to men and women, black men, depending on where you grow, you'll, if you in a single mom household or you hear as a child, because you know a lot of stuff comes from us learning as child.
Mhm.
I mean as children. But when it comes to, you hear mom say, "Oh, this ain't shit,"
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So when
Yeah.
you hear that as a woman, you thinking like, oh, okay, well, that's how I'm going to do. Well, he ain't doing this, he ain't this. So now you are
Mhm.
programmed now to think that way when you think
Mhm.
of a black man, and then as a black man, depending on where you grow up, it's you're taught the Snoop Dogg song. Bees ain't ish, but like you get what I'm
Oh,
saying. So it's like
yeah.
you have that
Yeah.
mindset. Okay, she is this, and this is how you're going to treat them, right? So it's just
Mhm.
like when it comes to us as black, I feel like it's we're pretty much just we're against each other when it comes to male and female,
I
and it's
agree.
just I don't think that people realize how strong we can be when we are together. When you look at the
If we
'70s
work
before
together,
the
but
crack,
we
I'm
make
sorry,
it a
I'm gonna
competition. Sorry.
right. But then we look at the '70s before the crack epidemic, how it
Mhm.
was and how our families were strong. And even back then, when you look at Black Wall Street before that whole situation happened, so it's a lot of things where we were positive, but it was different things that kept us from being positive. Rather, guys going to jail. Now the mother is raising, um, kids by herself and doing the best that
Mhm.
she can, but at the same time,
Mhm.
it's not like having that male figure. So then now, from
Mhm.
a guy perspective, when we're brought up, okay, we see that. I could say, okay, I see how a guy or a mom could teach me how she would want to be treated. Okay, he's supposed to be a gentleman, he's supposed to open the door, he's supposed to do X, Y, Z. But I don't know how you're supposed to be treated when it comes to how you're supposed to feel. I don't know what to look
Mhm.
for when it comes to that, because at the end of the day, it's like, so you may be down. As a kid, I'm not going to know how to solve that. Or as an adult, well, I'm learning based off of what someone is expressing, but I ain't never learned that.
Right.
So it's
Right.
just, I think Music Soul Child probably said the best. Teach me how to love when it comes to men. We want to. We may not have the
Yeah.
best tools, but for the
Right.
guys who want to, all we're doing is asking is to give us a shot.
yeah,
Mhm. Absolutely.
Let me try to get another one. We just kind of touched on that. You guys have anything to say while I look through the questions?
let me give you time for questions. Go ahead.
Right.
Let's see. Hmm. Okay, I'm gonna bounce the question to you, Kendra. When it comes to, I want you to somewhat expound on pretty much what you were saying when it comes to you doing everything on your own and you having to adapt to a person who can fulfill those needs that what you once did on your own based off of, like, you're successful. Because I think it's almost like you run into I don't need no man. Like for example, what's going on when it comes to the music. I want to say like Summer Walker and other people, that's what they're preaching now in social media. It's like I could be single, I don't need no man because I make money. So when it comes to
And I'm
that,
not saying
how do
that.
you no, no, no. I'm just saying that's what's being pushed because, as we say, social media
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
big thing about the music,
correct.
it's things that we listen to. But when it comes to that, how do you navigate when it comes to a man that could do either just as much as or more than you, or like Kendall said earlier, can change a tire as well, on top of the other things that you can do? How do you balance that and try to take, how can I say, change the way you did things because of now you have help and you don't have to do it by yourself?
Right.
Because I think that clashes because you're so used to do it, and then on the other side, from a guy's perspective, you're like, I'm just trying to help. I know you do it on your own, but I got you. So it becomes a
Right.
clash.
Right. You know what? And I might have had this conversation with you before when I talked, but my thing is I'm communicative. So I know that I can do all these things. However, I want to convey to the person that's interested in me that I might be able to do these things, but there's so many things inside this place, and just being able to love and cuddle and comfort and have companionship, I can't get that, and I could buy that, but I don't want to buy it. It's not genuine. I want somebody that's, that can just pick me up. So I'm sure to let them know that, hey, I have been doing these things, but if there's something that you want to do, please let me know. And I'm not going to get offended when you tell me, listen, I got this. You can fall back from doing that. And I'm going to take care of that. Okay, then cool. I'm going to fall back. But just communicate, because you see, I do 10,000 different things and I don't want to do 10,000 different things. I want some help. So I'm open to, after we have a conversation, if you don't want me to do X, Y, and Z, and I agree, okay, then let me fall back. I'm gonna stay in my lane. Just tell me that. Listen, you're doing too much. Fall back. All right, I'm gonna fall back. Cause I know I can get beside myself with taking care of everything, and I don't want this person to feel like that I don't need them. I need you. I want to be loved. I want to come home and have, companionship. I want to be able to do things that I don't want to go to work every day and just get money and then I don't have nobody to spend and share it with. That's boring. So, yeah, I know how to fall back. Just tell me that. And you can tell me straight just like that. Look, you need to fall back. Cool, I got it. Fall back.
Okay. Look like someone have a question. They just said I have one question, but they ain't saying anything.
Frank, Frank Slaughter. Yeah, no, but how do you guys do that if you have or if you started talking to a female who a boss, can do all these things, and you try to, join her in her world, how, what kind of challenges have you had with that?
You want to go? I'll let you go first.
I am a competitor at heart. I've been a competitor. I mean, all the way from grades to real estate to life. Now I'm just a competitor. I enjoy competition. So when I run
Mhm.
across a woman that's like, "Oh, I don't need no man. I don't need no," like, oh, okay. So it's like you really just spend time with them and figure out what their weak spot is, and then you just really
Execute.
execute.
Yeah.
Like for
Yeah.
example, she may be running around with her head cut off, and she just like, I'm just always tired. Hey, schedule a massage. Hey, I
Right.
scheduled a massage. You got an hour? Go to this massage thing. Oh, I want you to come with me. Cool, I'll go with you. Hey, I need one too. So it's like you
Yeah.
find ways to get yourself involved to spend time because she's busy. She's a busy woman. Like she ain't
Hmm.
got time to be sitting around hee hee ha ha with you. But if you're doing things to make her make time to spend with you, then she will because she feels like
Absolutely.
that's time used and not time wasted. So
Wasted. Hmm.
you just figure out what is her goals. Like, what do she really want to do? What is she trying to achieve? Like, if she be like, "Oh, I want to do a beauty line." Oh, I know a person that owns a beauty line. Y'all should actually meet up. Here goes the
Hmm.
numbers. for meetings, sit them down. Like you start adding value to somebody's house instead. I mean, to their life instead of taking away. So a boss
Absolutely.
always has a goal. Remember, a boss always has a goal. You figure
Yeah.
out where her goes, where she's trying to go, and then it's kind of a cakewalk. But you really
Yeah.
got to listen. Like you can't talk all the time. You have to listen and then comprehend and then understand and then
Yes.
you, because it's
Yep.
not it's the as crazy as it sounds. If you really take the time to get to know somebody, you really don't have to work hard at all. It'll just naturally happen. And
And
relationships
that's it.
naturally grow. It grows from a
Yep.
friendship to a relationship to a marriage to the whole nine. So
Lifelong partners, right?
there you go. So it's really just spending time to get to know them. But I think a lot of guys always go with the end in mind, like I'm gonna get her draws, and it's just like that. Yeah. I
There's
just
more
I
to that. Yeah.
it's like more to that, and then at the end of the
Yeah.
day, the same thing, a nut.
That's
So
it. Right.
it's like you get the same results. So it's like it's just a different person. So it's like you're doing the same thing, getting the same results. What is that called?
Insanity.
There you go. So it's like try something different.
Right. Right. Try something different. And Tanya make a good point. Like we said, it's the small things that's important, and builds the strongest bonds. Absolutely. That the small things, if we just base the relationship off just the small things that you would do for a person, it will last a long time because those things mean the most.
Yeah. Somebody told
Yeah.
me, they said, have you ever done a picnic date? I said, nah, I don't even know how to do that. They said, you'll be surprised at how many women would love to just have a picnic. Like something
Yeah.
different. I mean,
Right.
think about it. Well, how many guys has ever did a picnic date with them? I said, you're right. I ain't never thought about that. I don't even know how to do it. They said, you just order some food and get a cover and sit outside on a nice day.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, okay. So I want to chime in on that. So even with that, like you said, someone told you, I I think that kind of as learning, like I said, I don't think a lot of guys are not like, oh, well, I don't want to do that. I think it's more so, like I said, if you teach me, or I could do some research, but I think that if you understand, for the most part, when it comes to men, we are not the greatest at multitasking. That women are really good at that, but we be so
Hmm.
one focus on like whatever we focus on. You will have to kind of, hey, can you do this? We start to learn to get, okay, I know you like this. Oh, I never been got a pedicure. Oh, okay, I see this is what you like. So it's just like understanding that and wanting to learn and grow to to be the best partner for you, not someone else, not looking at what everyone else is doing, but to be and cater to you. I think that's what makes the difference because you also want someone to pour in your cup. You want to feel
Yeah.
value too, both for men and women. So when it comes to
Absolutely.
wanting to be valued as well as understanding the person, I think it's crucial because you will never be able to reach that person's best full potential just like that person won't be able to reach yours. But if you're constantly pouring into someone else and you're not getting nothing back, then you become drained out. Now you become miserable. And now things start to happen. And if it's not communicating, it could boil over. So it's like trying to find
Hmm.
that common balance for you being valued and she's being valued, finding out what she likes to do, what you don't like to do, and then where kind of like the song where you're weak, he could be strong, where he's
Yes.
uh where he's weak, the female could be strong. So it's kind of finding
Hmm.
that balance to make it
That
all make
balance.
sense.
Yes.
And I
Hmm.
think
And
another
Regina, sorry, Kendall. I was just
no,
gonna
no,
say,
You go ahead.
Regina said, just reading the chat. Many issues stem from unrealistic expectations as set by society, movies, books, and etc. And we totally agree, 100% that absolutely we define our relationships by what we see on TV and what we read, and very much unrealistic.
I mean, it starts with Disney.
yeah. Everybody want
You
that
look
fairy
at
tale
Disney
wedding.
when we was growing up, how it was when it comes to princesses. It's always that happily ever after. It's supposed to be perfect after they kiss and the movie goes off, but you miss the argument. You miss the
Yep.
you drive and you go the wrong way. Now you mad because it's hot. You miss all those little things in between that makes
Yep.
it a relationship in compared to you just watching. growing up and you're little, you just think it's supposed to be perfect the first time. That's not how life works.
That's not
It's
how it
life be
works.
life, and then when bills come and all this other stuff, you don't have your stuff together. Now you're gonna be
Yeah.
at war, you know. So it's just like I think, like you said, when it comes to society, movies, and books, that's what it is, and that's what's unfortunate when it comes to kids that grew up on Disney. That's what they kind of look at. So they want that Prince Charming when it's like that's not real. That's Disney.
Yeah.
Relationships are
Yeah.
just like little babies. In the beginning, you're crawling. In the beginning, you're doing
Yep.
nothing. In the beginning, you
Mhm.
should be doing nothing, but getting to know the baby. Let's just say getting to know the baby.
Yeah.
And then you start crawling, and then you start walking. You start trying to stand up. But it's about trial and error. Like
Yeah.
if you never try nothing, you would never know. Like for example,
Absolutely.
I want to do a book bag trip. I just really want to put. I don't know if a woman can ever do that, but it's worth a try. It's like,
Yeah.
hey,
People
we
do. Yeah.
book bag, and that's all you have, and we gonna
Yep.
get on the play. But it's just for me, it's like trial and error. It's really, and then the best time to get a woman to a woman or a male to actually try something new is in the beginning. Like it's really
Mhm.
because then once they get stuck into their, you know, high school days, let's say that, or adulthood, it's like now they feel like this is how the relationship is supposed to go, and you have to keep
Yeah.
changing it and keep talking to them. But in the beginning, you can kind of they're willing
Make
to
it what you want. Yeah.
because they don't know you, you don't know them. You could be like, "This is
Exactly.
my first time ever doing going on a backpack trip." They're like, "For real? Wow!" And a lot of people want to be your first, so they're like, "Oh wow, I'm the first.
Yeah,
Wow, did you choose
fact.
me?"
Yeah.
So it's like just
Mhm.
doing different. Oh, this is the first time I decided on a weekend to go and drive 3 hours to go to another state just for the. I always wanted to go. You want to come? Come on.
Mhm.
Like it's things that you can do to kind of. But I think people don't realize like it's a baby, and when it's a baby, you got to spend time with that baby. You got to like love
Mold
the baby,
it.
the baby,
Yeah.
hold the
Grow it.
yeah, but you can't, like suffocate the baby. And I
Right.
think a lot of we live in a generation now where women's like, if he ain't calling me 100 times, I don't want him. And then he ended up becoming crazy, and it's just like, well, when he first met you, called you 100, it was fine. Now you don't like him calling you 100. I'm confused. That's how it started.
Mhm.
Like, so it's like we gotta sometimes we have to figure out what we want, like as
Yeah.
humans, and spend time with ourselves, and then we got to be able to tell that person, like, hey, I enjoy two
Yep.
hours to myself a week. I
Correct.
shut my phone down. I don't. You may not hear from me. That don't mean I'm doing it. I just enjoy being away from social media. I enjoy not like you have to be able to tell somebody what you enjoy and what you don't
Mhm.
enjoy. So because everybody's always talking about the negative, that'd be killing me. Like everybody always talking
Yeah.
about the negative. They'd be like, "Oh, I was in a relationship
Yep.
for 10 years and he did this and he did that," and I'll be like, "Well, what did he do good? 10 years didn't just be
Right.
bad. He wasn't bad for 10 years. What did he do good? Oh well, he didn't really do much good. I just stayed with him. Like that's a lie. So I feel like we always gotta like start talking positive into situations. I can tell you the positive
Mhm.
in my previous relationship, and I can tell you the negative, but I'm gonna tell you more of the positive and what I've
Yeah.
learned from than what I, kind of messed up and need to do better. But we gotta remember relationships in the beginning are like babies. It's the cupcake stage. And
Mhm.
that's time to really
Yeah.
get to know somebody is right. And then I ask tough questions. I have people cut me off because I ask tough questions right out the gate. How crazy is your baby dad? Oh well, he came by and shot the house up one day. Oh, okay.
You see, I need to know what I'm getting into.
I ask questions right out. I'm not about to sugarcoat it. Like when the last
Yeah.
time y'all messed around? When like I got questions. I'm sorry. And if you don't like my questions, you don't like me to be honest and want to ask these questions that make you uncomfortable, then we can just keep it pushing.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're gonna probably be on here for another 10 minutes. I know you guys got things to do. I do want to see. I think
Yeah. I
it's
gotta get an oil change.
yeah. She said, if you truly love someone, do you really get tired of not getting what you're giving? And if the person not giving back, what is the problem?
Say that again.
If you truly love someone, do you really get tired of getting what you're
Of
giving,
not getting. Mhm.
of not giving? And if the person not giving back, what is the problem?
So it's not being reciprocated. Is that what you're
Yeah,
sound like?
that's
What
what it
you're
sounds
saying?
like.
She's giving, and that person, the other one, is not giving back. Then
Has she
I feel
told
like
her?
resentment.
Has she told her?
Huh?
Has she told her?
Right. Good. Right. Have you mentioned it? Have you had a conversation? If
So
you
if she
have,
hasn't, if she go ahead, Kendra, you the licensed therapist.
no,
I'm
I'm
just
just gonna say if she have, and this person hasn't had. If the person had, she's told him and told him time and time again, and it's like, yet this person isn't doing anything, and resentment starts to build. And now I feel like, yeah, just a question, right? Now I feel like, what am I doing? Am I just spinning my wheels? Is this a one-sided relationship where I'm giving and giving and nothing's being poured back into my cup? Like Dom said. So, like, what are we doing here? We need to revisit what this relationship is. Because I need somebody that's gonna meet me halfway.
I got another twist to that. So my thing is have you told him? And if you haven't, or
Mm-hmm.
him or her, and
Mm-hmm.
how would you tell him? So
Okay.
every time you get in an argument, you may be like, I don't like that you do this. That's not a perfect time to tell them. You know the best
Mm-hmm.
time to tell a guy and a woman what you want when you've been in a long-term relationship? I'll
When you
let y'all take
eating,
a guess.
or when y'all laying in the bed.
When you're about to have sex.
Bah!
When you in the mood, it's the best time to tell somebody because guess what? They are at their happiest, you're at your happiest, and the thing is that it's at a good space. It's not a bad space. I mean, there's other times, but I'm just saying like in a good space. Like some people wait
Yeah.
until it's a bad timing to tell you like, and you make me mad because you don't do this anyway when the dish is not done. Like nobody's listening to that. That's like a leaking faucet. Somebody need to fix it, and it's the problem. But you have to
Mm-hmm.
find a good space. Maybe you're about to go to the movies. It's a happy space. Or maybe you're about to go out to eat. Or maybe you're about to like you find them when they're in their good mood.
Yeah.
But you have to deliver the message in a good mood. Because if you
Yes.
deliver it to a male and you're screaming and you sound like his mama, I promise you,
Yeah,
all he hear is
yeah, we'll shut down.
that's it. He don't hear nothing you're saying. So it's how you
Mm-hmm.
deliver the bad news is how they're going to take it. Even if it's bad news, but you write it up to make it sound like good news. Like I really enjoy when you like you can say it this way. Like I hate when you don't come get the kids and take them out to the park like you used to and be like, I really enjoy how you used to take the kids to the park. And I think they enjoyed it too.
Correct.
It's how you say it. Like if you say
Yeah,
it
Absolutely.
because it's going.
right, they're
Yeah,
not listening because now you're trying to control them in their mind, and you're just
Yes.
they may feel like you're ungrateful because what about the rest of the stuff they do for the kids? So it's how you
Right.
deliver it. And sometimes it's
Yes.
best to deliver it in a good space at a good time in a good mood. Like don't I learned from my mentor never say how you feel in the heat of the moment because you're going
Right.
to say something. I know me. I'm gonna say some off the wall stuff. I may talk about your mama, your sister, your cousin. They had nothing to do with that, but I'm gonna get to you. So I just be like, just give me a minute. Let me take a walk, and then when
Yes.
I come back, I can deliver the message a lot
Communication.
better.
Yep.
But it's how you say it.
Absolutely.
Bad news is always go come. It's how you deliver it, and you know your partner.
Yep.
Like that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know how to push the button, and y'all know how to make them happy. Y'all know how to get them to do what you want. So it's like deliver the message when you know he's at his happiest moment and or her happiest
Yes.
mood, and you can
Right.
probably get more done. Not saying it's gonna change, but I think he's
It's
gonna receive
but you
it.
receive it better. Yeah.
yeah, receive it better. I agree.
Yeah.
So that's just
Mm-hmm.
my opinion. I'm not a therapist. I'm just a male.
I
I'm just
agree
a
though.
male.
You know, totally agree. It's not what you say, it's
uh,
how you say it.
Yeah.
yeah, and I'll
Yeah.
say be slow to speak. Oh, is it? Is that's the saying? Yeah,
Slow
be
to, or
slow to
you want to
speak.
listen. Yeah. Slow to
There you go.
speak, and you listen more than you speak though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like as in a relationship, you should always speak positive in a negative situation. So
Mm-hmm.
like I know some I feel like saying I love you can be washed out. Like, I mean, it could be overset. Like, you could just use it so much that now it doesn't have much meaning.
Yeah.
But some people believe that they need to hear it every day, which that's fine. I think when you say it, it has to have meaning behind it.
Meaning.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're like you're as a male, and I'm just speaking for males, we go through 20 times more than people we actually express to people. We don't tell people. We just deal with it. We throw it in our head. We throw it away, and we just keep pushing because at the end of the day, we feel like nobody's gonna listen. And then we were always taught like men don't cry. Like, why are you crying? Like, suck it up and keep moving. So we just keep that within and just keep on moving. So you have to deliver like nice things to your man. Like, hey man, I love that you cooked the other day. Like, it's just little stuff. It don't got to be big.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I love that you took my
Right.
car to get oil change. I actually noticed that you actually put some air in my tire. My tire was flat. Thank you for filling up.
Right.
Like, little stuff that I promise you, if you do the little stuff, you don't gotta worry about a coworker or a girl down the street or anybody else
Right.
getting it because he like my wife do that all the time. You get what I mean? Like,
Oh, right. Exactly. The
it's never
small
gonna be,
things.
but it's gonna be worth it. Like, that's
Yep.
the thing. Like, you just have to spend time learning your partner, learning how
Mm-hmm.
they what they like, what they don't like. You know how to push their button to get them motivated, and you know how to push their button to get them to do what you want. I don't like
Yeah.
going on first dates to movies. I don't. I want to go to axe throwing. I want to go to escape room. I want to go somewhere where you got to use your head and learn something
Mm-hmm.
and see how you react off of things that you don't know. Like, this is not
Right.
new to you. Like, you, I mean, it is new to you, and see how you react because that's how you're gonna be in a relationship. Because we always fall back on how we grew up, or what we installed or reinstalled or rewired. We always fall back on those things when our back against the wall. We don't change. Like
Right.
they think in football that you practice so the play so many times that you know it in the back of your head that you can do it with your eyes closed. And
Yeah.
that's how it's supposed to be in life. You have to be able to practice and practice and practice and practice and practice. And in your relationship, you're practicing. Keep practicing. Practice, 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 practice. Learn your
Yep.
partner, relearn your partner, learn them again, learn them again, relearn them, and just enjoy the obstacle course.
That's right.
You guys have anything else you guys want to say before we wrap this up?
No, this was fun. I like this. It's my first
Mhm.
time doing it, so thank you.
Mhm.
I don't think I said enough.
Me
Okay.
too.
You guys have y'all okay. I guess we'll just do this last one because this is I think we kind of speak on it. It says so men are not supposed to cry. I don't. It's not that we're not supposed to cry. I think it's more so we've grown to how we was everyone's born in different backgrounds, but how he was brought up. I know for me, and I think I can speak for Kendall as well. Um, Growing up, that's what it was. It was okay. You pretty much deal with things on your own because you fall, dust yourself off, get up. There's no point for you to cry because the situation is gonna still be there. So it's like that was trained for us when it comes to men. So when we deal with things, we deal with it by ourselves because if you look at not all the time, but when women are having issues, they have a homegirl they can talk to. We can't necessarily say things, rather it's trust issues or rather something that we've been through that we realize, okay, no one will be there for us. So we got to figure out and muster it up. And it's just like, it's kind of part of, I guess, the environment that you grew in. I think the generation now is different. So that may not be
Yeah.
the case for, I guess, the men growing up now, but I know for sure in my generation, that's what it was. And I think with maturity, you start to learn that it's okay to reach out. It's okay to have a mentor, but
Yeah.
when if you're stuck in that mindset or like Kendall said earlier in that box, you will continue that cycle because that's what
Mm-hmm.
you've learned and you will go back to what you know because that's your comfort zone. It's uncomfortable being able to speak on something that is unfamiliar, rather which is your feelings or which is when it comes to um, being vulnerable. I think that's the biggest thing that men struggle with is being vulnerable because at the end of the day, we don't know if you're going to judge us. We don't know if you're going to say we soft because, growing up, you can't be soft. So it's just like, and then it's funny because like, well, we want someone who, who's somewhat soft. Like, no, you don't. Like, just keep it a whole buck. You want what you want, but it's just like to be vulnerable for a guy to open up to a woman that has to mean a lot, depending on the generation, because that's not something
Yes.
that we do
Right.
because
Right.
of how we were programmed or how we was raised, because we wasn't taught that. So
And I'm gonna
hopefully
tell
that answers the
women.
question.
I'm gonna tell women. And the woman can tell me too, but I'm gonna tell women one thing that I've learned about males. If they open up and then you hit them with the, oh, that's gay, or you soft. I can't believe you said that. Good luck in getting them open up again,
Yep. Agreed.
because you just killed every opportunity of him feeling vulnerable to open up to you, to let you know how he feel. The best thing to do when he open up is be like, I hear you. I'm sorry you feel that way. I understand.
Yes.
Because if he opens up, it took him everything
Man,
to get that out, and you just killed it in less than 2 seconds.
Yep. Yep.
and what would you say to men out there?
Me or
Who's that
Kendra?
question for?
Andrew, you just said something for the females.
Oh, yeah, me. Oh, for the males out there, it's okay to get help. Like,
No, Kendall. No, it's for
Oh,
Kendra.
so say yeah. So tell me the question because I missed it.
No, what would you say? That was his last thing, as far as saying like one thing that women can learn from a man. What is one thing that you would say that a man can learn from a woman from your perspective?
Oh, so if you could just listen. A lot of times we just want you to listen to us, to give us the time to sit down and listen because I want to feel heard. I want to feel that you listen to me and you hear my gripes. You might not be able to fix it, especially if it's work stuff or female stuff, but just listen, show me that you care enough to want to know what's going on with me or why am I upset. um Maybe rub my back, give me a hug if you see me crying. Ask, is there anything that you can do? How can I make you feel better? What can I do? Like just listening. Listening is very big.
I got
Don't
a
brush
question.
me off. Don't rush me along. Sorry, don't be like, hurry up, I got shit to do. Excuse my French, y'all. But, you know, give us some time.
I
Kendall,
got
you
a
got a
question for
question?
Kendra. I do. This is a
Don't
this
take
is
us as
a
an angry black woman. Period, Tanya. Right.
this
Okay,
is a,
Kendall.
this is a closing remarks. I just got, because you said something about like listening, and I still struggle with this, and I'm trying to do better. I'm solution driven. So like if you come home and you complain about the same coworker every time, I'm not listening. I'm not listening.
So Kendall, hold on. You but you can ask, because first off, we might just want you to listen. So you can say, okay, do you want me to give a solution or you want me to listen? And I might say, I just want you to listen because I want to get this off my chest, and just listen to me. Let me vent, you know. I just want to talk to you. So I get it, you solution focused, but right now I just need my homie lover friend to listen because I'm hotter than fish grease.
Okay.
So you just
And
taught a
if I
man
need
that
a
was on the
solution,
show.
then I could, huh?
I said you just taught one that was on the show.
Say that one more time.
I said you just taught a man while he was on the show. It was supposed to be a message for
Yeah,
men, but you just
Yeah, I
yeah.
just
We
know
need
how
somebody to
men
listen.
think. No, I just
Mm-hmm.
know how men feel. Like if you come home and you complain about the same coworker over, and you saying just listen, it's like you can change it. Like why are we having this same conversation? Because a male would not come home, majority, not
Exactly, Tanya.
come home and actually talk about like the same situation over. They're trying to figure out how to solve it. Not all, but just saying. So that's why I'm just asking, because it's tough for males to hear the same complaint over and over and over and over and
But
over.
sometimes us women, it might take
oh,
us a bit more time. Sorry, Dom. It might take us a bit more time to you know, I gotta talk about it. I gotta get this out my system. And once I get tired of talking about it, yeah, I know exactly what to do. But for right now, baby, I want you to listen.
Okay, you got me. I'm gonna do
I,
better.
I want to say, because I now I kind of get where it's going. So to kind of distinguish the differences. So when it comes to us or Kendall, because I get exactly what he's saying. Because if it's just us, we're gonna fix it. However it is, we're just gonna fix it. But we're not that women aren't logical, but when it comes to those things, we think logic. Okay, how do you fix it? Let's move on to the next. Because if something has happened, or let's just say you continue to tell me, or you continue to tell me to take out the trash, I'm not going to continue. I'm going to now, you not even have to tell me because I'm going to do it. That's the solution. But what you're saying, not to say that women are emotional, but you're emotionally expressing your feelings. So it's
Correct.
like that's the logical and that's the emotional, but it's just like from the male's perspective, we have to eliminate our logic for our woman and understand. Let's just be emotional. Let me hear you out. Okay. You may have said this was a solution, but if she still feels this way, maybe this is really bothering her. Okay, while she's doing that, okay, let me rub your feet and keep it pushing, and then okay, what you
Yeah,
want for dinner? And then it may
exactly.
it may kind of change the whole narrative of her complaining about because she forgot about that because you talking about rubbing her feet and you about to cook something. So I guess it could be the balance as far as trying to eliminate our logic when it comes to when a woman is being emotional. Because I get you, Ken, because I'd be like that too. I just fix it. Like that's okay, cool.
Yeah,
We ain't gotta hear nothing
and you
else. We
know,
just done with it.
yeah. Tanya said it best. We're looking for you. We're not looking for you to resolve it. We just want some empathy. You know, show me that you can be empathetic. You can, you know what I'm saying? Like, I connect with you when I feel that you listening to me, and that makes me grow closer to you because I'm like, dang, like he listens to me. He takes the time to hear my complaints, like, or just hear about my day. Today could have been an excellent day, and I want to come home and tell my baby about it, and you listen. You rub my feet, you rub my back, like, oh, okay. You maybe ask me a couple questions about how the day was. Like, I yearn for that. You don't gotta solve it, just listen.
Okay.
I'll let you know when I need it to be solved. Like, baby, I can't handle this. What do what do you suggest? Or give me this or give me that. I can communicate that, but I'm gonna tell you, like, baby, I don't want you to fix it. I just want somebody to listen to me because a lot of people don't feel heard.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. You guys want to give your social media so if anyone want to follow you?
Yeah,
Yes,
my Kendall Davis on Facebook and Kendall Davis on LinkedIn.
I am. Let's see. I'm Kendra ST on Facebook and Miss Kendra T, I think, on Instagram. I don't know. I can't remember. Let me check.
I think this has been good, insightful.
Oh, same
Um,
thing. Yeah, Miss Kendra T. Sorry, Dom.
no, you
Miss
good.
Kendra T on Instagram and then Kendra ST on Facebook. I don't have Snapchat and everything else.
So next week we're gonna expound on social media and how it affects relationships. I know we touched on it this time, but I think that's an even bigger topic because it's really prevalent nowadays because of social media. So I'm looking forward to it. I thank you guys for you guys' time. Thank you guys for listening, and
Yes. Until next time. Thanks,
till next
guys.
time.
See you later.